And the last and final problem on the notes, this one, it's encouraging you not to use a calculator. You could always use a calculator to check your answer, but this one's really kind of a fun idea. So a tsunami is a fast-moving ocean wave, and the water first goes down from its normal level, then rises an equal distance above the normal level, and finally returns to its normal level. The period is about 15 minutes. So I'm just kind of sketching this out as I think about it. So the period is 15 minutes. We know that it goes down and then rises and then goes back to its normal level. And it takes 15 minutes. So I divided that up into 4 pieces here. And it says it has an amplitude of 10 meters where the normal depth of water is 9. So 9 meters. And then you add 10 to that, you get 19, and subtract 10 from that, you get -1. So our graph would look like this. It would start at the 9 and then go down to -1, back up to the 9 here, up to 19 at 11.25, and then back down to 9 at 15. So that's what the graph would kind of look like. So what we're looking for is first an equation. So let's write our equation. Y equals, and now the amplitude is 10. So we're going to write y equals 10. Now, we do know if we're using a sine function here, it does start at the midline and go down. So our sine function will work, but it is a negative. So we could write a negative sine. And now what we need to do is find b, and we know that b is this 2 pi over 15 because our period was 15, so 2 pi 15 t. And then we do have to account for that vertical shift up 9 units. So that would be our equation. Now you could have written it as a cosine and then just said that it was shifted, and you could have done it that way, but this is how you would do it if you're doing a sine function. Now, looking at these problems right here, assuming that the depth of the water varies sinusoidally with time as the tsunami passes, predict the depth of the water. So now, how do we find it after 2 minutes? Well, we just take our calculator and we put in a -10 sine of 2 pi divided by 15 t. On my calculator I put it in as an x. Close the parentheses and add a 9. And then I put a 2 in place of that. So we have -10 sine of 2 pi divided by 15 times 2 plus 9. And we get 1.57. So 2 minutes is 1.57. All right, so I'm just going to use that formula again. I go -10 sine, and then I have 2 pi divided by 15 times 4, and then add 9 to that, and I get -0.9. So that's what this value is, -0.95. And then do the same thing for 12 minutes. So -10 sine 2 pi divided by 15 times 12 plus 9, and the answer is 18.5, and that is the answer.